What if I told you that a 40-year-old single mom, living paycheck to paycheck, transformed her life to become a millionaire entrepreneur? It all started with a moment of desperation, a flicker of hope, and an idea born in her tiny kitchen. This is my story, and it might just change yours. If this story inspires you, don't forget to hit the like button, leave a comment about your own dreams or struggles, and subscribe for more real-life transformations. Let's inspire each other to achieve the impossible together. I'll never forget the day everything came crashing down. It was late January, and the biting cold seeped into every crack of my tiny, worn-down apartment. My old coat couldn't keep out the chill as I sat at the kitchen table, staring at a pile of unpaid bills. The electricity was hanging on by a thread, and I knew it was only a matter of days before it was cut off. The fridge hummed faintly, its contents down to a bottle of milk and a half-empty jar of peanut butter. My heart sank when my son, Ethan, walked in, shivering under his thin jacket. "Mom, the teacher said we need new notebooks for school tomorrow," he said hesitantly, his voice barely above a whisper. I smiled at him, masking the panic I felt inside, and said, "Don't worry, sweetie, I'll take care of it." But deep down, I knew I couldn't even spare the $3 it would cost. That night, as I tucked Ethan and his little sister Lily into bed, I lay awake, consumed by guilt. My kids deserved more warmth, more security, more everything. But what could I do? My days were spent juggling 3 part-time jobs, cleaning houses, working at a diner, and doing night shifts at a call center. Despite my relentless efforts, the money never stretched far enough. It wasn't just the financial strain that weighed on me. The loneliness was suffocating. Friends and family, though supportive in their words, slowly drifted away. I was no longer the vibrant woman they once knew. I had become a shadow of myself, consumed by the endless grind of survival. Then came the moment that shattered me. One evening, as I was scrubbing floors at my cleaning job, I overheard 2 women talking about me. "She's working herself to the bone," one said. The other replied, "It's sad. She's just stuck. She'll never get out of this life." Their words felt like a dagger to my heart. They weren't trying to be cruel, but they confirmed what I feared most, that this life of struggle was all I would ever know. Tears burned my eyes, but I kept scrubbing, determined not to let them see me break. That night, after my shift, I walked home in the freezing cold, my cheeks wet with tears. I stared up at the sky, questioning everything. "Is this all there is?" I whispered to the empty streets. "Is this the life I'm meant to live?" And then, as I reached my apartment door, I saw a small piece of paper wedged in the crack. It was a final eviction notice. I sank to the floor, clutching it in my hands, and sobbed like I hadn't in years. But as I cried, something shifted inside me. Maybe it was the quiet strength of desperation, or maybe it was the realization that I couldn't sink any lower. Either way, I knew this was my breaking point. I could either let this moment destroy me, or I could use it as fuel to fight for a better life. I wiped my tears, stood up, and walked inside. That night, I made a promise to myself. I wouldn't let my kids grow up thinking struggle was all there was to life. I didn't know how yet, but I was going to change our future. This wasn't the end of our story. It was just the beginning. The next day, I took a hard look in the mirror. I asked myself, is this the life I want for Lily? Is this the best I can do? The answer was no. I didn't know how I'd do it, but I was determined to turn things around. That night, after putting Lily to bed, I started researching online. I searched for ways to make extra money, work from home opportunities, and success stories of people who had turned their lives around. I stumbled upon a video about entrepreneurship and how ordinary people were starting online businesses. It was like a light bulb went off in my head. For the first time in years, I felt a flicker of hope. I knew nothing about running a business. I didn't even know where to start. But I told myself, if others could figure it out, so could I. I started small, using the free resources I found online. I learned about e-commerce, marketing, and building a brand. I stayed up late every night watching tutorials and taking notes, fueled by sheer determination. My first step was selling handmade candles. It wasn't a groundbreaking idea, but it was something I could do from home. I bought supplies with the little savings I had left and started experimenting. My kitchen turned into a workshop, and Lily became my tiny assistant, helping me pour wax into molds and package the candles. The day I decided to launch my dream felt like stepping off a cliff, hoping I'd learn to fly before hitting the ground. It wasn't easy and it wasn't glamorous, but it was mine. My idea was simple: start a small online business selling handcrafted gift baskets. I'd always been good at creating thoughtful, beautiful arrangements for friends and family, and I thought, why not turn this talent into something that could actually support us? But turning that dream into reality felt like climbing a mountain barefoot. I had zero business experience, no savings to invest, and not a single clue about marketing or e-commerce. Still, I was determined. I started with what I had: a small dining table as my workspace, leftover craft supplies from past projects, and a borrowed laptop with a cracked screen. Late at night, after tucking Ethan and Lily into bed, I'd scour the internet, watching endless YouTube tutorials on how to start an online store. I learned about platforms, payment systems, shipping logistics, terms that had once seemed like a foreign language. Every step forward was met with new challenges. The first was building a website. It was clunky and far from professional, but I poured hours into tweaking it, making sure every page told the story of a single mom trying to build a better life. The About Us section wasn't just a bio. It was my heart on display, telling visitors why their support meant more than just a sale. Then came the products. I had no money to stockpile inventory, so I made each basket to order, tailoring them to the specific needs of my customers. It was exhausting, but it allowed me to offer something unique: baskets filled not just with products, but with care and love. My first sale came from a neighbor, a kind older woman who ordered a basket for her granddaughter's birthday. I cried when I saw the notification. $25 might not have seemed like much, but to me it was proof that this dream wasn't impossible. Word spread slowly, and soon I was getting small orders from people in the community. But the real breakthrough came when I decided to market my baskets on social media. I couldn't afford ads, so I focused on creating heartfelt posts, sharing my story, and showing behind-the-scenes glimpses of my work. I filmed videos of myself assembling baskets, talking about my journey, and thanking every customer who placed an order. The response was overwhelming. People weren't just buying my baskets, they were rooting for me, cheering me on like I was their own family. Each message of encouragement felt like a spark, igniting my confidence and pushing me to dream even bigger. Still, there were days when I wanted to quit. When an order went wrong, or I worked until dawn only to make $50, I'd feel the weight of it all pressing down on me. But then I'd look at Ethan and Lily, asleep in their beds, and remind myself why I started. After months of hustling, I hit my first major milestone: 1,000 in sales. It wasn't millions, but it was proof that I could do this. I reinvested every dollar, buying better supplies and upgrading my website. Slowly but surely, my tiny operation began to grow. Launching my dream wasn't just about starting a business. It was about reclaiming my life. For the first time in years, I felt like I had control over my future. I wasn't just surviving anymore. I was building something piece by piece with my own two hands. It wasn't all smooth sailing. There were moments I wanted to give up. Running a business while raising a child alone was no easy feat. There were nights I cried from exhaustion, days when sales were slow, and moments when I doubted myself. But every time I felt like quitting, I thought of Lily. She was my why, my reason for pushing through the hard times. I learned to ask for help, hiring freelancers to handle tasks I couldn't manage alone. I also joined online communities of entrepreneurs who shared advice and support. 2 years into my journey, everything changed. I landed a major deal with a boutique retailer who wanted to stock my candles in their stores. That partnership skyrocketed my business. My revenue tripled in a matter of months, and for the first time in my life, I felt financially secure. I hired a team, moved into a larger workspace, and expanded my product line to include soaps and home decor. My small candle business had transformed into a thriving brand. Today, I'm living a life I once thought was impossible. I'm no longer that struggling single mom who lived paycheck to paycheck. My business generates over $1 million in annual revenue, and I've been able to give Lily the life she deserves. We live in a beautiful home. She goes to a great school, and we have the financial freedom to travel and make memories together. More importantly, I've found a sense of purpose. I mentor other single moms, helping them find their own paths to success. If my story can inspire even one person to believe in themselves, it's worth sharing. To anyone out there feeling stuck or hopeless, please know this: you are stronger than you think, and it's never too late to change your life. Thank you for listening to my journey. If I can go from struggling to thriving, so can you. Please like, comment, and subscribe to hear more inspiring stories. Remember, your breakthrough is just around the corner. See you next time.